I want to ask you a bit about two themes that are of great interest for me, and one is what I call integration. So basically, bringing all of ourselves to take part in the most important endeavor, and um, and the other question is, which is related to it, is the question of practice. But let's start with the question of integration. And do you still have any parts of yourself that you feel you kind of are prodding or pushing or inviting to join the party that are not quite there yet?
I think that's a good question. I'll answer the personal one in a minute, but the concept of parts of us seems so critically important because the representation of I as a whole is is so burdensome because we're always defending
Mm,
that we're one indivisible I, and anybody who has done any kind of self-study whatsoever has discovered that this is clearly not the case.
yes.
So, so
It's a bit of a shattering discovery, you
it
could
is a
say.
it is a shattering discovery, and everyone that participates in this undertaking with me is exploring that particular discovery and being confronted with that discovery as it unfolds, and of course being in a position of having some parts which find we see danger in this exploration and are finding places to hide till
Of course.
hopefully this exploration will run its course and it
Yes.
will be able to remain alive.
Yes.
But the nature of living together and the way that we operate here, with the moment after moment, uh, with so much scrutiny, it
Mm,
becomes very difficult to have these places to hide, and that's
mm,
why there's so few people here, and the attrition rate that
of
I
course.
have is astronomical. I have
Mhm.
the biggest attrition rate of a spiritual teacher in history.
Okay.
I
That's a
have,
good sign.
I
That's a
have
good
the worst percentage of success possible.
sign. Well,
And so let's get to the personal part of it now.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
say uh, if I had different living circumstances, I would say there would be that capacity to have selves in me. Let's call them selves in me that could have withstood uh, the scrutiny of waking up and seeing people at breakfast and seeing people at dinner and seeing people all the way through that
mm,
and even things that happen at other times and in other situations, so that uh, my view is that the dynamic of these, let's call them selves, is they don't have to disappear because they're all interest groups and they're
yes,
important interest groups, but some self has to grow that's bigger than all these selves, and that so all these selves are subject to that big self. So this thing, which is a formulation, it's a formulation.
yes, yes, yes.
It's not an actuality, but
Of course.
it's a formulation for exploration, and it works for
Yes,
exploration.
yes.
Uh, People try to use it for explanation, but it really is only good for exploration. And I see
Yes,
that you understand what I'm talking about, and
yes,
I
yes.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
So uh, the nature of growing this self that cannot be fooled and has this intention and valuation, so that it is supervising rather than being subject to the whims of these other selves,
Yes.
is a gradual process. And
Okay.
I can't see how that can happen in a compartmentalized way when you actually go to school and then you come home, and then you go to school and you come home, and you go to school, come home.
Yes.
The people that I know and myself don't have any place to hide. There's no place to go. So, I mean, we all have individual spaces, but
Mm.
so you spend the time in the individual spaces dwelling on how you fucked up when you were together. So you're always in your
You always have something to contemplate.
you always have something to contemplate. So if you personally want to know by this time, do I have any holdouts? The answer is no.
Okay.